Hey, Shaggy, grab a bucket and some Lysol. Scrub off my tires.
Meadow Soprano. That's her boyfriend.
I can't find any Lysol.
Don't worry about it. Why didn't you tell me you were dating my niece?
Paulie Gualtieri, class act. I didn't make this video to criticize Paulie's shortcomings as a 9-to-5 civilian. I made this video because I don't think Paulie's a very good fella.
I remember every blowjob I ever got. How about you? Remember your first blowjob?
Yeah, of course.
How long did it take for the guy to come? Did you hear that? I said, you remember your first blowjob? He said, yeah. I said, how long did it take for the guy to come?
Now, before people go labeling me some kind of Paulie hater, let me just say, the dude has some qualities that, some find annoying, but I find endearing.
This time I take a fucking limo in Paris.
Like you were ever in Paris, Paulie.
I went over for a blowjob. Your mother was working the bonbon concession at the Eiffel Tower. So, did you hear what I told him? I told him I went over for a blowjob. Your mother was working the bonbon concession at the Eiffel Tower.
Remember that time Paulie went to jail for 4 months and he was making a big fucking deal out of it? 4 months isn't a long time to sit in jail. The first time he brought it up was when he got out, and it was casual. I didn't think nothing of it, but then he brought it up a second time, and then a third time when he was collaborating with Johnny Sack. Despite what Henry Hill would have you believe, if robbing people is your occupation, then going to jail is just a hazard of the job.
Let me explain something. For you, for us, for anybody who does business, things happen. And you or your family or friend can end up doing time. Somewhere along the line, we have to deal with that fact.
If you're a gang member and you go crying to your friends that you had to go to jail for 4 months, they'd laugh at you. If not, kick your ass. Look, I'm not saying Paulie's a punk for complaining about the 4 months. We do get that scene where we see him phone check that dude. It's understandable that some facilities will be more crowded than others. And to get your fair share of phone time, you may have to be more assertive. But what you don't have to do is go in there and start claiming the TV. You're just looking for trouble. That takes balls, and Paulie's got balls. So I'm not sure why the writers of the show were making Paulie complain about 4 months so much. It's not that big of a deal for a guy like Paulie. Oh, and there was the time he did that score with that guy. I think they hit the Colombians or something. And then they got like an oven full of money. He was supposed to give Tony a cut, but Tony had been shot or something, so he was supposed to give it to Carmela instead.
Should be a nice chunk for everybody.
Everybody?
Carmela, she gets teeth cut under the circumstances, correct?
He had no intention of paying Carmela until he was absolutely positive Tony was gonna pull through.
Oh, come on, not Syl again.
Carmela, he's a fucking vegetable. But I still gotta pay tribute to the princess of Little Italy.
The boss's wife. What are you gonna do?
Look,
Then and only then did he pay her out. Dude, that's some slimeball shit. Or how about the time Paulie and Christopher had to go pick up money from a Russian guy or something? And then Paulie gets in the guy's face, shit breaks out and escalates. Next thing you know, they got the Russian guy in the trunk in the middle of the woods, and then he escapes, so Paulie and Chris chase him. And then next thing you know, they're lost in the middle of nowhere, freezing to death. So somehow Christopher gets a signal on his cell. And what's the first thing Paulie says when he gets his hands on the phone? He starts trying to blame the whole thing on Chris.
your nephew. Sometimes he don't think before he acts. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, I thought the guy sucker punched you.
It's just, we'll talk later.
And Chris is like, yeah, I know what you're planning to do. You're gonna kill me, leave me out here, and blame this whole thing on me.
I heard you on the phone trying to blame this on me.
Fuck you talking about?
You fucked up with the Russian prick. Now you're worried about Tony. You wait till I'm asleep, then you'll choke me so he'll just have your version.
Choke you right now, you fuck!
And I was like, what? That was the plan? That's fucked up, man. And while I'm talking about Paulie and Chris, there always seemed to be a lot of friction between these two. Like when Chris first got his pin, Paulie was always messing with him. And then they went and spot checked Christopher's apartment and Paulie was messing around with Adriana's undergarments. Are you fucking crazy, Paulie? But by far the worst thing Paulie did was when he was leaking all that information to New York. He was having clandestine meetings with Johnny Sack, hoping to get in good with the boss in New York there. I'm no mobster, but I'm pretty sure that's a crime punishable by death. So, Paulie was giving Johnny Sack all this information to get in good with Carmine, but when Paulie actually met Carmine, Carmine had no idea who Paulie was.
What's your name again?
Paulie Gualtieri. Jersey?
Your father was run over by a trolley, right?
Johnny talked to you about me, right?
Johnny who? Sack?
And then the look on Paulie's face when he realizes that Johnny Sack has been playing him this entire time. That's a great piece of acting. And then I guess later, Tony's on the phone with Johnny and they're having some kind of dispute and Paulie immediately sides with Tony, which Tony finds suspicious because him and Silvio have been suspecting that Paulie's been the leak this whole time.
I think certain people starting to wonder where your heart is.
People who? Tony? What the fuck's that supposed to mean? Right there. Your attitude lately. 4 months inside, I'm supposed to skip down the street?
Alright, so to wrap things up, I just don't think Paulie is a very good bad guy. He falls short in a lot of categories. He's unreliable, he's greedy, he's self-centered, and blah blah blah. But what do I know? I could be wrong. Maybe I'm the asshole.
It's like an ad for a fucking weight loss center. Before and way before.
This guy ever stop breaking balls?
Hear what I said, Tom? They're like an ad for a weight loss center. Before and after.
I'm an Indian outlaw, tattoos and battle scars, sitting in the back